Are we going to continue to allow these politicians who we vote into office be disrespectful, disruptive, and hold zero decorum on our behalf, representing us? I think not. If you're new here, hi, my name is Andronique. Welcome to Be a Free Thinker, where we have conversations and we think freely and we voice our opinions. So this week has been interesting, and it's only the middle of the week. So Tuesday night, President Donald Trump held his joint address to Congress. And why did the Democrats have a whole planned agenda to be disrespectful and disruptive? Like, they planned the whole thing. Some of the women had on pink suits representing protecting women, meanwhile voting against the Lincoln Riley Act, which was put into place to protect women. Yeah. And then we had Senator or Representative Al Green decide he wants to get up and wave his cane, 77 years old, talking about Medicaid. And they had signs that said save Medicaid. President Trump hasn't done anything to Medicaid. All he said is we want to not tax Social Security. And they did a whole video montage, like 23 of the Democratic senators did a montage, posted it all over social media, and it started off saying that shit's not true. Are you professional? Jasmine Crockett has her mouth. She does not even use professional words. Everything is an F-bomb coming out of her mouth. And granted, if they don't like President Trump, whatever. There were people who didn't like Obama. Tell me when you've ever seen Republicans behave this way. So the House voted to censure Al Green today, this morning. And so being censured, and by the way, there's been two other Democrats in the last 3 years that have been censured. Adam Schiff, who is from California, Democrat, and Jamal Brown, Democrat from New York. Censuring means it's like an embarrassment. It's kind of like a slap on the wrist. Like, you can't behave that way. You have to hold yourself in decorum. And why did Speaker Johnson have to ask Al Green that night, Tuesday night, several times to stop, we're not going to allow this, and then had to have the sergeant come in and remove him as he shouted with his cane all the way out of the gallery? That is not professional. If you want to have a conversation, if you are in debate or you feel some kind of way and you're representing your constituents, hold a conversation. Ask for a meeting. But when do you get to shake your cane and disrespect the President of the United States in the Hall of Congress, in the Capitol building? When do you get to do that? Well, they did it. And so this morning they voted to censure him. And the vote was pretty close. But what did they do? So he was censured for being disruptive in the gallery. You can't do that. You have to hold yourself with decorum. So what did they do? All the Democrats rallied behind Representative Green and started singing, "We shall overcome." What are they overcoming? You were disruptive in the hall. You were removed because you would not stop, and now you've been censured. What are you overcoming? So you're saying the Democrats are saying we're going to overcome. So they just want to run rampant and say whatever they want and call Trump all kind of names, call Democrats all kind of names, and not be held accountable. Tell me when that makes sense. Oh, and it gets better. So Representative Al Green, his district is Houston. So if you watch the State of the Union Tuesday night, little DJ, 13-year-old boy, has been suffering from brain cancer. He's from Houston. And not only did Al Green not support him because he had been kicked out by then, but not one single Democrat got up to support and clap for a 13-year-old boy who was supposedly going to be not surviving the cancer. And they gave him 5 years to live, and he's lived. And President Trump celebrated him, made him like a Secret Service agent because he's always wanted to be in law enforcement. Not one Democrat. So you don't like President Trump. Cool. But what did that 13-year-old boy do to Democrats? Why, when they were speaking about the Lincoln Riley Act that President Trump put in place to honor Lincoln Riley, who was unalived, she's a Georgia State student in the nursing program, went on a run, some illegal person who came across the border unalived her, and President Trump wrote a bill called the Lincoln Riley Act. 170 Democrats voted against it. 170 Democrats voted to not have the Lincoln Riley Act. And the Lincoln Riley Act is an act to protect women. Meanwhile, they're running around and campaigning and wearing pink, saying that they're supporting women wearing pink. So if you're supporting women, how would you vote against the Lincoln Riley Act? And oh, by the way, Jasmine Crockett, she voted against it. The one who told black people that they didn't need the $5,000 Doge dividend. Yeah, her. So this is what the Democrats are doing. And then President Trump was honoring Jocelyn. Remember Jocelyn, 12-year-old girl, unalived under a bridge by someone who came across the border during Biden's open border policy, was unalived. Her mother and her sisters were there, like fighting back tears. Not one single Democrat got up to applaud when President Trump announced that he had renamed a forest area or a national park area after Jocelyn. So they couldn't clap for the Lincoln Riley Act. They couldn't clap and support and honor Jocelyn, and they couldn't honor little 13-year-old DJ who was there. He's 13, he's not 4. He saw half the room stand up and cheer for him and half the room not. So we can bet that he's going to be a Republican when he is of voter age. But aside from the fact that they don't like President Trump, what did Jocelyn, Lincoln Riley, and DJ do to any of those people? I mean, Nancy Pelosi sat there with disdain on her face. You don't have to like anything that President Trump does. He was highlighting the things that he has done that have benefit and that will benefit the United States of America that they proclaim to love. And all they keep saying is he said on his first day he was going to bring down the price of groceries. How would anybody bring down the price of anything in 24 hours after everything has been inflated for 4 years? How is it that they said they couldn't close the border? Biden said he couldn't close the border without legislation, and Trump closed it already. Border crossings are at 30. How is it that Biden couldn't do that, but Trump did it? It's like everything that the Trump administration is doing for this country, the Democrats are opposed to. So they weren't opposed to the invasion at the border. They weren't opposed to these illegal migrants allegedly taking over apartment communities. They weren't in opposition of thousands and thousands of dollars being inputted or uploaded on an app for people who were not United States citizens, and we were paying for it. They weren't paying for it. We were paying for it. They weren't in opposition of that. They were not in opposition of homelessness gone rampant, and it's from the taxpayers who are the ones that are now homeless, because all of the new homes and everything that's being built is for the illegal migrants. They were not upset with what happened in North Carolina and Florida and Tennessee with Hurricane Helene. They gave them a $750 something that they apparently had to pay back. But these illegal migrants were getting like $3,000 in food stamps a month. So are the Democrats against the United States of America, or are they for it? And every single thing that the Republicans do to move this country out of the little hole that it's been in, and it's not a little hole, it's a big hole, it's a shithole, they are like, they don't care. Like, they don't care of all of the fraud and misuse of taxpayer dollars that the Doge has found. Like billions and billions of dollars. You would think they would be like, thank goodness someone found that money. How did this happen? How do we have all these slush funds? They cannot even give credit where credit is due. And my question is, why? Why don't the Democrats care about this country? So what's going to happen in 4 years when Trump is not president anymore? Then who are they going to throw their disdain to? Because I can promise you, this Democratic Party, they're not going to be a party much longer. So many people are jumping to the right, and it's because of them. This Hakeem Jeffries and Jasmine Crockett and Cory Booker and Elizabeth Warren, like, what is the deal? I mean, they went to great lengths to make sure that Donald Trump didn't become the president. And we already know what those lengths were. He's the president. And they're saying, well, his presidential election wasn't a mandate. He won all 7 swing states. What are you talking about? You guys wanted Kamala to be the president? Kamala was the VP, and all of this that was going on the last 4 years, she was a part of. And nobody had a problem with it on that side. Everything was cool because what they were getting, like what Donald Trump wants to call kickbacks, slush funds happening. How were people over 150 years old getting Social Security? How? Nobody knew that? How was the Treasury building locked and closed since 2020? And where are all those federal workers? Where have they been? Are they working from home? Who knows? But then when Trump says y'all got to go back to the office, it's a whole problem. And he's like making people unemployed. I don't understand. If you guys let me know in the comments, I mean, we already know politics has just been like back and forth forever. But when did it become acceptable for a party to be disruptive, disrespectful, show zero decorum, hold rallies using the worst profanity, name calling? When did that happen? Was that ushered in during the Obama era? When I kind of feel like it happened during the Obama era with the whole George Floyd thing. But you guys tell me what you think. This is what's been going on, and people will cut off their nose to spite their face, and it's really appalling. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. And I just want to let you guys know I was posting my videos on Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. I'm now moving that to 7 p.m. Thursdays Central Standard Time. So hit the subscribe button, hit the bell, make sure you stay in tuned, because there's so much going on that my little TikToks are not going to be able to cut it. I'm going to have to do a full-on video every single week.